Welcome, everyone. I know you're all having a good time talking to each other, but we got to start sometime. And no time like the present. So I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time from their busy schedules and after a holiday to attend. So thank you very much for being here. We'd like to start with our flag salute. Our flag is in the back at the window. So if you don't mind, please stand up, remove your hats, and begin on go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Joseph, would you represent us, please?
Yes, let's pray. Loving God, thank you that we can gather here tonight. Thank you that we can celebrate the recipients of the scholarships and honor them for their hard work. Lord, we ask that tonight you would help us to learn, all of us, to learn things that will help us improve our shops and bless our neighbors and bless our communities. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you. So today we've got something a little bit different and very special. Today we are recognizing the Chapter 5 scholarship recipients. So if I can have if you're a scholarship recipient, please stand up for a moment, please.
All right.
All right, actually, if I can have you come up over here to the front, we're going to be giving some certificates out. And I believe we're missing one person, right? We had, yep, Joseph was unable to be with us. And if we can have the educators help with the distribution of that, we have our board member, Greg Lipp from Citrus College. And we also have Dave Brown, which also is joining us from Citrus College. Unfortunately, Wendy from Pasadena City College was unable to be with us, as well as Rio Honda, Steve Tamori from Rio Honda, and we also have Mr. Dave Greer from Baldwin Park Educational, and also Adrian from East LA College, I guess, ELAC. So we can get a round of applause, not only for the recipients, but also for the instructors that put in the hard work and effort to get these students. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate you very much. So I'm going to butcher the names. So I'm going to pass the mic on over to Greg. You want to do the names?
He's going to do two.
All right.
I'll do two.
All right. So first of all, I want you guys to notice how strong Citrus is represented here. Take note of that. So I get the pleasure of introducing Christopher Marks here, a young man recently finished. Still working hard at school at Rio Hondo with Steve and John and all of them over there. And I'll let you just introduce myself to Christopher earlier. He's a man who's strong in his faith. He's a newlywed. He's working to finish his program. He's looking for work at a job at an auto shop. Anybody need? Right? Okay, you got a job over at Rotors. That's what we do here. All right, and he's looking to take over the shop. Okay. So, Christopher. So you got two first names. I apologize. Christopher. Thank you very much for all your hard work at school, and good luck in your career. And I believe you're awarded $50,000. It's 5 something.
They had a couple of zeros extra.
That's what the millionaire does.
Well, Annie will take care of it. All right. So, and our second one is James Apria, and he's not with us tonight. Unfortunately, James is here. Oh,
That's one of Wendy's.
That's yours. All right. Second one is Joseph. You know, we're
He is
organized.
on vacation.
Yeah, this is not representatives of Citrus's style. Okay, we'll show you how good we are. Joseph Papa, I did not get the advantage of meeting him. He's not with us today, but I'm sure he's doing well in his school. So I'll pass the mic off. In his shop, yeah. So I'll pass the mic off to Dave Brown. He's more the wordsmith.
Not such a wordsmith.
So the Automotive Service Council's Foothill Chapter 5, proud to recognize James Imperio, one of Wendy Lugo's students over at Pasadena City College, and with us and our high energy president, Mr. Tim. Wendy is sad not to be here, but you know she had another engagement. She did say how proud she is of you. She did say to tell you how proud she is of you, that you finally turned in the application after she hounded you and hounded you and hounded you. And she asked me not to exhibit any prejudice towards him because he does drive a Nissan 240, which we find at Citrus is indicative of a problem student. Congratulations, sir. This next one makes me so happy I might have a tear, so I'm going to try real hard not to do that. But we are honoring our student from Citrus College, Milena Camarena. She is currently in a class with me. It's her second class that she's taken with me. She was a star student in my engine design class, which any of you that haven't taken that class yourselves, you might enjoy it. It's all about all the mechanical stuff that makes an engine work. And I know you all know about that stuff, but it's how rod length matters, crank throw matters, L over R ratio matters, valve size, combustion chamber design, cool class, right? And it's given at night. Melina, star student, she's with me again for our automotive electricity and electronics class, and she's phenomenal. And let me tell you what I mean by phenomenal. There's a lot of students, and it's not hard to spot, that will do whatever they got to do to be successful. I do the work, instructor told me to do this, I do my homework, I get it done. Fix a car, get it done. Melina makes everybody else around her better. And when she gets a job with one of you guys in here, she's going to make your shop better. So we're looking forward to hearing about that. Congratulations, Melina.
And honestly, I can definitely tell you the relationships these students build with their instructors is amazing. Both James and Joseph Papa was not able to be here today, work at my shop, and it is a joy to see when they struggle with something, the relationship that they have, they're able to call the instructor and go do some time at lunchtime and get better at what that weakness that they have is, and the confidence that that builds. You know, hats off to you guys. It's not easy what you guys do, and really want to recognize that. So if you don't have an apprentice in your shop, talk to one of the 5 instructors that are in our chapter that do this day in and day out. They do this from their hearts because they love it. And it is an amazing feeling as a shop owner to be able to turn your shop on over to these young, brilliant minds. James built his computer at 10, his first computer at 10 years old. So, I mean, he's our in-house IT guy. And I tell you, the passion these guys really have for our industry, seeing how involved we are with ASCCA, the shop is involved with ASCCA, is something really special. So Johanna would like something to say.
I was gonna say, when you get technicians from the dealership, while I know they can be great because they're master technicians, maybe fast, they come with a preconceived idea of how to do things. They know how to do it, they know more than you, etc. You get a student in college who's had a really good basis in the fundamentals of how to learn how to work on cars. You get them fresh so that you can train them and teach them the best ways of your shop, and hopefully that's the best ways of the industry. So that's one thing that we have found very valuable with hiring students and turning them into like real technicians, really great technicians.
And the best part about it is you see their growth. This past year, I had the privilege to watch one of my other technicians, John Ayola, graduate from Pasadena City College with his associate's degree. So it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. If you don't have an apprentice in your shop, get one. And if you want to learn how to do that program, you can see any one of these instructors, see myself. ASCCA is putting together an apprentice program with the help of Luke Murray, who's also one of the technical instructors in our industry. He is an amazing teacher. So if you haven't gone to the website, go ahead and go to ascca.com. And there's a wealth of resources that you guys can benefit from. So At this point, if we can have everybody kind of huddle around this banner so that we can take a group photo. So why don't we bring in as close as possible? Yes.
So we can block the words. Oh, yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Now you guys gather around. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And one more time. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So those of you that don't know what the ASCEF is, it's the Educational Foundation of ASCCA. So what they do is the students that got these scholarships, they're chosen from a team of shop owners, and how they get their resources is when we do our card donations. So I'm sure you have seen ASCEF on the news feeds and on Team Talk. So if you haven't, go to the website. It's ASCEF, and how you can contribute to get funding for this is donating your car. So when you have a customer that says, what do I do with this old junker now that it's not worth fixing? This is their opportunity to go ahead and donate that car, and the proceeds go to ASCEF. They won the scholarships. So this has been going on for years and years. As a matter of fact, we have right here in our own chapter 5, a gentleman that won one of the scholarships back when it was IGO. So Gary, if you can take a moment and stand up, please. This is a student that won the scholarship, and today is a shop owner. So
1983.
I had auto shop in high school, so my teacher picked me to go compete against high schools. And back then, you had to go through different high schools to compete. They got the first 3 winners, and then you compete against them, then becomes a second, then you compete. I was the first place winner. And until now, no one has ever won that scholarship in City of Glendale Unified School District. So I was the only one all these years that had won it, because all the auto shops closed. So there's no more in the high school. And I would have to say that it's very rewarding for me to be in this industry, because first of all, I love working on cars. Second of all, it became an incredible business for me. I can't think of anything else I could do that I could make the money I'm making, and also be doing what I would love to do every single day. And when we got married, we've been married for almost 32 years. My friends would always make a comment, why are you so cheap? Why don't you go on vacation? I had to always come up with this excuse why I can't go on vacation. Years later, I found out that when you love what you do, you're on vacation every day anyway. So why would you go on vacation? So I finally caught on to that years later as I got smarter, because I love what I do. I mean, I go on vacation. We used to go 7 days to make it fun for everyone. We minimize it down to 5 days. The first day is me having a good time getting in the plane. Second day, new place, excited. Third day, relax. Fourth day, see everything around you. Fifth day, I need to come back. I'm done. So, but I know it's not going to be easy to whoever's getting into it. It's how you look at it. There are tough times you run into, but at the end of the day, if this is what you like to do. My wife's an attorney. She's got attorney friends. I have relatives that are doctors, that are surgeons and physicians. A lot of them don't make as much money as an auto repair shops do. I'm telling you that right now. And if they do, they're miserable. They hate their work. Surgeons, I can tell you, I know a lot of them. They can't stand being there because it's a small room. Every customer's complaining because they're in pain. It's like most of my customers, I remember when my wife was stressing out one day, I went to her office. I came out and I said, most of my customers come in and hug me and kiss me. They bring me cookies. They
they love us, you know, it's like we fix something, they're happy when they leave. And that's what I want to be around. So, and I think the rewards are really, really good. You're for sure with the right group of people. I have never looked back and regretted one day that why did I do that? But there were times where I was doing the transmission on my back, on soil, in the rain, on a Pinto. So I can tell you that I've done that. In there, didn't have a hoist in my shop, not one. I didn't even have a floor that was concrete, the soil. So I've been through all that, but now I look back, not once I think to myself, oh my God, I should have done it differently. But for everyone's got their own life to lead, but for me, it's been incredible.
How long have you been in the ACCA now?
Okay, Gary Paparian, I own Bussard's All Pro Automotive in Island Park, California. Been in business since April of 1988. Been a member since maybe 92, 93, 94. But again, before then I got the scholarship. And one thing that I forgot to say was an incredible feeling when I was a guy that spent most of my time in auto shop. My high school teachers would always tell me, what are you doing in auto shop? There's nothing in auto shop. And I kept saying that's what I wanted to do. And when I got the scholarship and I was called with all the graduates to receive a scholarship on stage, and everyone said, why are you here? So I got a scholarship and they couldn't figure out what it was for. They had no idea that it existed. If it wasn't for the IGO or ACCA, I would have never had that opportunity to be on stage getting my scholarship. And you know, what a feeling is that when you're in high school, you feel like you haven't done much except auto shop. All of a sudden, that's important. So it's, again, how it turns out to be. And I'm here with my beautiful wife, Anya.
My name is Peter from Silver Star Service in Monterey Park. It's going to be next month. I'll be owner of Silver Star for 2 years. The shop's been around since 1983. I bought it from my prior. He was my prior boss for 17 years before that, and I've been in the industry for maybe about 25 years. So, and I love to tinker with cars, just like you guys with the scholarships. You guys got a long way to go, but you know, like you said, if you like Gary said, if you love it, you're just going to keep doing it. So my hobby and my worst thing is, and my wife tells me, grow up. I have a lot of different cars. I tinker. That's what I do. Anything with wheels, motor. I just like to tinker with them. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the industry. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Bobby. I own Olive Auto Center. As most of you may know, I bought it from Ali January 3rd of this year. I've been an ACTA member since February of this year, so a few months. Been doing this since 2002. Actually, in high school, when I was in high school, my uncle owned a shop back in San Jose, Northern California, so I started working with him in summertime and then graduated. Just pulled me in and was attracted. Like most people, I just love cars, so I ended up working for my uncle for about a couple of years, ended up going to a dealership. I was an advisor there for about 4 years, 5 years, and then got a job with Ali when I moved to Los Angeles County. Worked for Ali for about 11 years, and then I ended up buying it from him. It's been great. Honestly, I feel blessed to be able to do what I really love. I don't feel tired. It's crazy. It's like, it works out great. It's smooth. Like he said, it's vacation. I do miss things at home, obviously, especially since I have a newborn. But I don't know many people that can say that they love what they do. Truly mean it. Most people look at them, I'm going to be off in 2 hours, whatever. But bottom line is, if you stay true to what you love, do it right. Learn as you go. You'll be successful at it. Just stick at it. For some of you guys that are new, stick to it. It takes time. I mean, I started $8 an hour. Moved up. I'm making way more than some of the people graduating with a master's degree right now. So there's a lot of money to be made still. And then you get to work with people, you get to work with cars, which is great. It's, day-to-day.
Hey, Rob.
So, yeah.
Can I have you take a picture with us with your certificate of?
That's the next guy.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine.
You're welcome. Hold up that way and we'll give you attention. All right.
I don't know if Tim's gonna say it or not, but we would love to go around the room and hear everybody's story, but then we wouldn't have time for anything else that we have planned tonight.
20-minute story.
I know it, man. That's why I said it now. My name is Sean.
My name is Sean Blank. I'm here with my wife, Brenna. We just got married about a year ago. We own Sean Auto Care. I started it in 2012 and I've been a member since March.
Raul from Raul's Auto Care in Azusa. I've been a member since 2007. And I've been in business since 1999 in Azusa. Graduated from Citrus College at the same time.
My name is Joe. I'm from Trident Auto Performance. My technician is here with me today. He's the first time here. That's was my first time here also. So I'm the new guy. And we've just been in business since 2013. I started it with my brother. But 5 years ago, my brother passed away. So now I'm here trying to learn from everybody.
BJ from BJ's Auto Service in Arcadia. We've been in business for 26 years. I've been a member for over 20. So I'm here with my son. Gotcha.
Have a good feeling?
Great.
Good evening, John from Active Auto Works here in Pasadena, and member of ASC. I don't even remember how long it's been, 20-some years. Had our shop for 28, and we're trying to expand, going strong. And you mentioned something about apprentice, brought our newest apprentice along with us here, CJ. Thank you.
Kirk Haslam from Advanced Muffler and Auto Service, Pasadena. Shop's been around since 46. We've been a member since 1967.
Joe Gomez from Marcus Auto Center. I'm ashamed to say I'm not sure how long our company has been with the organization, but I'm thinking probably like 8 or 9 years of it, maybe. And I love it. So.
My name is Levy Chavez. I'm with a company called Hydraulics. I've been selling utility equipment for about 32 years. Hydraulics, if you guys don't know, we sell everything from AC machines to alignment equipment to car lifts, you name it. We don't just sell it, we install it, we service it. Here with Tony. Tony invited me to come over. Tony's one of our service guys. He's the one that puts everything together at your shop. He's the one, if you have a leak or something, he fixes it. We have maybe about 12 trucks on the road, just in case you guys don't know. I heard somebody say something about lifts earlier. Just kind of like a thing to watch out for out there, guys. If you're buying a lift, make sure it's certified lift. Do not buy a lift that's not certified. Because they are making shops, take them down. Came across one the other day, customer bought it from the internet, went to the shop, how much you charge me to take it down? I said, why? It's brand new, not certified. Right there by Dodger Stadium. I'm just giving you guys a heads up on that. You guys ever need something? I have my cards here. I know it's kind of short. I'd like to talk to you guys about more about what we do, but the show has to go on, right? Here you go.
Make sure you talk with them a little bit and show them how important it would be to join the chapter.
Hi, my name is Tony. I was invited by Tim. Been doing this trade for over 25 years now. Time flies, and I service your equipment. I did a bunch of dealerships throughout Southern California, and now I just service the equipment. And I'm getting kind of tired now. I want to start selling now, like this guy here. But for all you newcomers, Just remember safety first, no matter what, whenever you wreck those cars, especially with these new EVs that are not, they're censored differently. Be careful because I've seen some accidents of people just dropping cars because they don't know, they just graduated from high school or from college, and they don't know how to wreck a car correctly. So safety first, no matter what, guys. For any of you guys with safety needs, we have our cards here. We'll pass them out. If you have any questions, let us know. Thank you.
Johanna Reichert from Beamer PhD. We brought our service advisor, Kevin, our lead tech, John, and you guys met our scholarship winner and apprentice, James. We've been a member for about 7 years now.
Howdy, Dave Brown, Citrus College. I've been a full-time instructor with Citrus College now 23 years. So I started there in 1999. We have been an ASCCA member that entire time. ASCCA has been a great friend to us. And hopefully we've been able to reciprocate that friendship a little bit. So real happy to be here. Here with my student Melina, who you met, another student Tony, and my colleague Greg, and I'll see if he wants to say something.
Hi, I'm Greg from Citrus College. Hey, so, yeah, so we're having a class at Citrus College. Oh, what a shocker. So the class is on advanced vehicle network diagnostics. So if your guys aren't diagnosing networks yet, you probably will be really soon. The good thing about it is the class is free, no charge to you.
How much?
I'm sorry, it's free.
Okay.
Free. So the other good thing about it is, let's just pretend you have a smog license. This also meets the state of California's Bureau of Automotive Repair requirements for your 16-hour update course. Okay, so it does two things at one time, but primarily think of it as a vehicle advanced network diagnostic workshop. I've got some more flyers on the table for you to pick up. It is 2 Saturdays, so you do have to devote 2 Saturdays of your life to learning. I apologize. And they are July 23rd and July 30th. And you don't have to be a technician. You can come. You will come. And if you want to pick up a flyer, there's a little barcode to sign up for that. I really want this class to go. We tried doing it earlier this year. It's kind of hard to get these Saturday classes rolling, but once you come, you will keep coming to these classes, trust me. The class is being given by a gentleman who's been teaching at our college longer than Dave?
Longer than me.
Longer than Dave, yeah, and he is incredible, and he's a working technician. He works full-time. So he's not a working teacher, he's a working technician. That is incredible. Huh? Corey Davis, sir. Yeah, see, he's got a reputation. So I invite you guys to pick up a flyer and come check out the school and come check out the class. I'm going to pass it to this gentleman.
Thank you.
Mike Bedrosian. I'm here with my wife, Nairi. We own Lex Mastertech in Pasadena. For the Citrus students, we work only on Lexus and Toyotas. I graduated T10 in '99. I think last year when Terry Smith was there. We've had the shop since 2011. It's been great. One thing I always like to tell students, you got to go get it yourself. Don't expect somebody to teach you something or to tell you how to do it. You got to ask, and you got to be willing to learn yourself. And that's going to lead you a long way. And I've been a member for ASCCA for 7 years and a board member for about 2 years.
And the vice president.
Vice president, yes.
My name's Sandy, and I'm from Undercar Plus. And I've been in this industry for a little over 42 years, and I'm going to retire.
I'm Blake Avallard. I've been in the industry for 27 years. I've been in Undercar for 12 years. And not sure how long Undercar's been a member for, but it's a great industry. I love it.
My name is Santo. I own Jerry's Auto Repair and Body here in Pasadena. I want to actually say something to all of the students here. I was a student not too long ago, and I bought my own shop about 1.5 years ago. And it was a shop that's been there for about 30, 35 years.
So you guys always look for the big, goal. Don't ever stop. Don't let anything, any bumps in the road stop you from getting to whatever you guys want to get at. So I was a student not too long ago. Now I'm a shop owner. Grind at it.
We're missing one, and that is Ada. If we can have him introduce himself, and also he's going to be getting a certificate as well.
Yes, we got.
My name is Ara Hartunian. I own Hart Motors in Van Nuys. I've owned it since '96, and I just joined this year, the ASD meeting. I'm getting a lot out of it because every time I come, I learn something I didn't know. So yeah, it's got benefits. Just got to pick and choose what you need. Thank you.
You might come and take a picture with us, please.
Hold it.
That hand. Okay. Big cheese. So as you can see, the sky's the limit. What you put into it is what you'll get. So at this point, I want to do a quick briefing on a couple of the committee informations. So those of you that know, we have the GovCom committee, the chapter reps committee, and training and seminars. So Jean was unable to be here with us for the GovCom committee. So I'll give you a quick update. From Team Weekend, there was a lot of talk about catalytic converters, or the theft of catalytic converters, I should say. For those of you that are doing exhaust work, you benefit from the other end of it. But the important part of that is please take a moment and go to the BAR website, bar.ca.gov. You'll get the latest news. And they have helpful tips on how you can protect your vehicle. Why that's important for us is this is an opportunity where we as shop owners can capitalize on that and not only make money from that, but also help customers as how they can protect themselves. The second part of that is there are some licensed professionals that are being targeted by new scams. You're gonna want to read that article to protect yourself if you're a business owner. And part 3 to that, if it's the first time you're hearing about Shop Locator, then you really need to go to the website, because on that Shop Locator is how you can find shops that are certified by BAR, which is us, if you have your ARD license, which if you're in this room, you definitely have an ARD license. So, and it talks about the shops that are doing good, have a green box around them. The shops that are in trouble, they got a yellow box around them. Yep, sound like a DVI, right? And the shops that are in deep, you know what, have a red box around them, and hopefully that's not any shops that are in this room. So make sure not only you get to know the shops in your area, but you can make sure that the information about your shop is live and accurate. And as BIR does a push on this, this is going to be another way that you can tell shop owners, or I'm sorry, you can tell your customers, this is why we are ASCCA certified shop, we're licensed, and we follow the rules and regulations. So I'm sure there's a lot more information. There's about 2,000 new laws that come out that have to do with assembly bills. Please get involved in that. It'll help and protect your shops so that you do have opportunities to protect yourself and also to make money. That ends my GovCom report. I'm going to switch on over to Chapters Reps. Change. Chapters Rep report. It was super encouraging to have newcomers, Sean and Brenna from Sean's Auto Care at the Team Weekend last month in June. It is amazing and really encouraging to all of us to see new and friendly faces. I'm sure if you talk to Sean, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip a lot of the stuff, but if you talk to Sean, you'll see how encouraging it was and what they learned from coming to those meetings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, how many don't know what I'm talking about when I say Team Weekend? Raise your hand. So everybody knows about Team Weekend, right? Okay, other than the students, how many shop owners know about Team Weekend? Come on, no guys. There we go. We get those hands up. So on everybody's table, you're going to find a blue piece of paper that talks about the next Team Weekend. The next Team Weekend is called the Educational Conference. You know why? because you're going to get an education. It's a full day of activities. There is training for the technicians, which is an 8-hour information taught by various instructors. There is all-day training for management and advisors as well. So you're not going to want to miss this training event. So it's team weekend, September 18th. You're welcome to go on 17th as well, because we usually have some great conversations at the hotel bar before that. And on Sunday, the 19th, you'll get an opportunity, just like Sean and Brenda did, to see how this association on the state level operates. For those of you that don't know, we are chapter 5, who's alive and thriving. There are 16 total chapters in our association, and we are one of them, if not the #1 leading chapter. And we are that way because of you guys, the members, and our board of directors. So if you're on the board of directors, can you please stand up? These are the volunteer men and women who help this association and do all of the legwork, some of which are not here today. So I want to thank, can we put our hands together for the volunteer men and women? These are the awesome shop owners that keep this association and keep this chapter going. And all of this would not be possible if we didn't have an awesome administrator. So can I get a please big round of applause for Joseph Appler? Joseph is the glue that holds this chapter together and is definitely obvious throughout the whole state. So thank you, Joseph. So the point that I want to make tonight is Team Weekend is in Ontario. It's right here in our own backyards. We've heard in the past, oh my goodness, it's too far in San Diego. It's too far in Sacramento. Okay, maybe a little bit. By the way, if you attend the first time Team Weekend not in our area, there is reimbursement for that. Some of you didn't know, so talk to me about that afterward. I would love everybody in this room to sign up for Team Weekend tonight. If I can get you guys' commitment to do so. It involves you guys, you've heard me talk in the past about getting in your login for your portal. How many know what I'm talking about when I say the login for the portal? Good, a lot of people know. If you don't know how you can get this information, is you go to, you guessed it, ASCCA.com. And on the top right-hand side, it says login. You go to the login and you set up your portal. It is very, very easy to do. If you don't know how to do it, look up on YouTube like everything else. Carolyn, Mike, and myself did a how-to video. So it is now out there on the web. It is stupid easy to do so. Oh, by the way, you can't register for the program if you don't sign in on your portal. So sign in, get your login information. It's very easy. It's the email address that you're already using for ASCCA. So if you're an ASCCA member of Chapter 5, go get that information. They'll walk you through, watch the video first. We'll walk you through how to do that. For those of you that are new members, absolutely must sign up. So I encourage everybody, I would love all of Chapter 5 to be at the Ontario Team Weekend. That's how important this is, not only to me as chapter rep for the state, but also you will benefit from it multiple times. And most Team Weekend attendees will tell you, once you go, you'll be going to every single one of them. It's like popcorn. Once you pop, you just can't stop. So I encourage everybody to be there. The last part for training and seminars, a little bit out of time for. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is please take the time to go ahead and read the newsletter. Not only because we take the time to write it, but Joseph takes the time to go ahead and put a lot of helpful information. And you'll see some pictures of the last attendees for the last Team Weekend. But there are some really, really good articles from Ratchet and Wrench that Joseph has included in there. You got to read the one on are your biases controlling you? And then keep your employees engaged. If you have not read these articles from Ratchet and Wrench, pick up a copy of the newsletter and go ahead and read it. And I say that because in the next coming months, there's going to be some information in here and a reward. There's going to be some key words. And those who read it and can recite it during a meeting, are going to get a gift. For those that did not attend tonight, they're going to be missing out. So if you've benefited from any of this helpful information and you don't see somebody here, please let them know what they missed out so we can continue to encourage, enroll, and engage. So with that being said, I would like to, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the scholarship winners. If you would like to leave at this point, I don't know why I would, but if you would like to leave, you're welcome to do so. If you'd like to stay, we're now going to have something really special. We normally have a speaker, but tonight the board has decided that we're going to turn this into an open forum. And what that means is we want to hear from us. Let's try it again. We want to hear from us. Come on, that was weak. We want to hear from us. More like it. And to get our moderators who are going to keep us in line up here, let's ask Johanna Reichert from Beamer PhD and Ani Preparian from Bassards Automotive. Wendy would have loved to participate, but unfortunately she had some previous engagement. So these women are going to help guide us to keep our conversations uplifting and rolling and engaging. So you've heard enough about my excitement and my energy. Let's turn it on over to them. Thank you, everyone. Oh, they're going to be discussing, well, they'll tell you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Everyone can hear me? Yes. So we're doing an open forum to discuss two specific topics. One is the new hires, what to do, what not to do, the checklist, especially with the new rules that have come up. And then the second one is health and safety concerns, tips, and best practices. So there's a lot of rules and regulations that have been enacted over the last 5 years on how to run your shop, procedure, policies, OSHA, Cal OSHA, labor code, all kinds of rules and regulations out there. So what we're trying to do is just kind of look at best practices, individual practices, just do a one-on-one discussion. Anyone who's got some war stories, you're welcome to say what you need to say and what your experiences have been. On the table, you should find a yellow sheet of paper and it's stapled. There should be about 2 sheets. And the second page has areas where you can take notes. The first page is a sample new hire orientation checklist of all the different types of things that you need to go over. It's broken up based on type of items such as forms, compensation, benefits, status, policies, and procedures. And then if you look in the back, there's an employee signature with another item on top. And the reason for that is because every employer has their own different rules. Keep in mind, nothing we say today constitutes legal advice. You're welcome and you're actually encouraged to do your own research and talk to counsel, CPAs, whoever it is that you need to in order to formulate your own forms. This is not a be-all, end-all. It is a suggestion only, and there's no compensation being paid. This is just free. So, but it's to get you guys to start thinking about things, okay? I think we've got a video and we can start with that, and that's Wendy, who's she videotaped herself to just talk about my understanding is it's the safety tips, but let's listen to her and then you guys can listen and then we can pause it and then we'll start a discussion. Sounds good? Should we turn this on?
Hi, everybody. Sorry I can't make a meeting tonight. I know we have an open forum on safety and onboarding of employees. So I'd like to mention one thing. Don't ever assume. Don't assume your employees have had the experience or are aware of certain laws, especially as they're changing, that they know how to handle chemicals, fluids, if they've had no safety training. I know that like CFAS has a online program where you could pay per module and have employees do a module online at home at their own pace, or you could have them do it at your work site. So always ask the chapter or ask your CFAS rep or any of the uniform reps. A lot of them have packages for you to offer your employees to make sure that they understand that safety is in their hands and that it's not just your job, it's everybody's job. So for example, like the fire extinguisher that's behind the table, in a walk around in a shop, things like this happen. You're rushing, you try to get the car shipped, customers waiting, you push things in front of other objects. But sometimes it's always good to do a walk through with an employee and explain why they need to keep their eyes out for certain things, make sure that they're blocking it, make sure that's been checked, and make sure that there's actually chemical in the fire extinguisher. That way, if they ever do need it, which you hope they don't, but if they ever do, then it's ready to go. If they need fire extinguisher safety, a lot of fire departments offer that sometimes for free, even to community members. So it's always good to ask your local fire department if they offer that. So there's a lot of free resources out there when it involves safety. Don't be afraid to ask. And once we find out, it's really something to put on TikTok. That way other shop owners can also take advantage of that. Take a walk around the shop with your employees as you give them their orientation and walkthrough, and don't just explain their area and their lift, because then it's really not theirs, it's the shop's. But they need to understand what else is around, like flammable cabinets, what type of materials go in there. Don't assume they know. If there's cans of brake clean out and other things like that that you could actually tidy up while you're there, that will help. That will help them see that you care, and in a sense you want them to care. So the expectation that they will keep their area clean. And
I have no idea.
Try to play again.
Dodger got face it.
Hi everybody, sorry. A lot of free resources out there when it involves safety. Don't be afraid to ask.
No, media is when it encountered a problem. I'll play it.
Okay, so we'll go over it. We'll go over. Do you want to start your own? You want to talk about safety? Yeah. So one thing that I found in a shop is, as shop owners, you open up a shop. I wasn't a mechanic, my husband was a mechanic. And he's like, I want to open a shop. I want to do a better job than the dealership did. I want to offer a better service to the customers. And so he decided to leave the dealership and open a shop. He had no idea about HR. He had no idea about how to handle employees, none of those things. So I actually was a mail lady. I worked at the post office, so I didn't know anything about any of those subjects either. So I actually injured my knee dirt bike riding with Tim, and decided that the shop could support both of us in our lifestyle. And so I quit the post office and I started working full time for the shop. And I stepped into that role, and really I had no background, or I had to learn as I went, basically. And one thing I found is obviously everybody's different, but I found that if I don't know something, it intimidates me. So I find that if I figure out how to do it and I create a process for it, and it's something that you can return to, you can go back to, refer to, it makes it a whole lot easier. So if you have safety trainings, we have monthly safety trainings that we go over. We have a shop meeting every single week with our employees. We have a lunch and we buy them lunch, and we have an hour where we sit down and we go over things. We ask them if anything's needed in the shop, if anything's a safety hazard in the shop. There's like supplies that are, something broke or something along those lines. I'll have we actually use David Fisher with his California Employer Services. They send you a safety issue that you can go over. So you have it all right there. So it's what do you go over, what do you talk about? And on the back, it says like who was there, who attended, what did you discuss? Was there any further discussion? So things like that make your job a lot easier, especially when you didn't have a background in things like that. I have a schedule for when I go around and check the fire extinguishers, make sure they're not blocked by anything. We have one fire extinguisher in my back shop that always gets blocked by a toolbox, and I have to always tell them we can't put this toolbox here, it's blocking the fire extinguisher. One thing I noticed on hers is there's not a sign above the fire extinguisher unless it was higher than the video. You have to have a sign that points where every fire extinguisher is. So there's a lot of little rules that you may not know when you first go in that you kind of learn as you go. So check your fire extinguishers every month. I go and I check my eye wash station every month. I pull the plugs off to make sure that it's flowing because sometimes those get plugged up. So if somebody gets something in their eye and they go to use an eye wash station, it's not flowing. How's that going to help them? So you have to check that every month. There's just so many things that you just follow a checklist that just know every month this is what I do. Every quarter this is what I do. That way it makes your life a lot easier. So once you get those processes in play, it makes your life easier. And one great thing about being part of ASCCA, you're going to have some people that are stronger. You're going to have some people that are weaker. So go to the stronger people and say, hey, what's your process that you use? Do you have a checklist? Can I use it? Do you mind sending it to me? And that's one of the great resources about being part of this association that I've found that really helps with that kind of stuff. What do you guys do for safety? I think I turned off my phone. Sure.
That's a lot. And it's daunting because you kind of have to balance what you're doing as a shop owner as far as working on the vehicles and keeping your car counts up, and then also making sure that the administrative side is maintained with all the health and safety issues and all the bureaucracy that goes along with it. So what we've done, we've also hired Dave Fisher, and he's not the be all end all. We do use him because he's specific to this industry and he has a lot of information. You're welcome to use others. I know ADP has their own system that they use, but they also just send checklists. Certain type of, like, let's say a shop, insurance companies also send out some of that stuff too, but they're not on site. So they don't come to the premises in order to do the inspections with you and do a walkthrough, which is an issue. But what we do and what we've been doing is we have an emergency plan, an emergency exit plan that needs to be posted, and every shop does in various areas. So there's an exit and fire route. We post labor law postings that has to be current on a yearly basis in the common area, usually where the people congregate in order to eat. Usually they have 5 minutes to look up and then it's visible for them, so long as that's available to them and it's highly visible, then that usually is fine. Their payday, their emergency numbers, all the required labor postings. Then you've got all your other tools and equipment type of maintenance, and that goes into safety and maintenance, which is air compressors. Are they certified? Are they maintained? Are they have to be on, I believe it's yearly. If they have to come in and check to see whether every part on it is properly working. I know we had our hoists, we had to have them serviced, and it was a pain, but it took a long time, and the guy came over and then he did the work. All hoists need inspection permits, and they have to be the certificates need to be accessible. All workstations need eye wash, hands-free device. Yes, sir. You had a question?
One per hoist?
Workstations.
Oh, okay.
So if it's movable, my understanding is you can centralize it, but if it's hooked on to the wall, then it has to be per workstation. That usually translates to a bay. So keep that in mind. And that's OSHA, Cal OSHA compliant, and it can be a little daunting. There's different types. There are those that you can pipe into the water system. Then there's those that have a tank that needs to be maintained, and those need to be maintained appropriately because that needs to be certified as well. Fire extinguishers, every month needs to be inspected. Then you need to write down on that little card that there is on that yellow card on the fire extinguisher, you need to write down the date it was inspected and whether or not it passed inspection. There are companies that you can call that can come out in order to fix whatever is wrong with that particular fire extinguisher if it's low on liquids. You know those rails that are hanging off the walls and then the hoses that come down? Guess what? Those hoses cannot be kinked up. They need to lay flat. Otherwise, that's a huge trip hazard. What about the old brake plates that you guys have that would work great? but because the new ones don't, well, those old ones apparently, that's a huge citation. You need to remove those. You're not supposed to have those really old ones. We had one we had to remove, but it worked really nice, really smooth, really fast, really no problem. Better working than the new ones that we had purchased. We had to remove it because that is an old citation. All the, any type, yes.
Can you explain that?
Which one?
The late.
The brake leg?
Yeah.
You mean the grinding? Yeah, what do you?
A lot of safety stuff that's on there. Your employees remove it. Oh, she asked me because they're all mounted.
Grinders.
Yeah.
So they have to be properly mounted to the ground. They have to have the proper coverings on it. They have to use the proper equipment to use it. And if there's like one thing wrong with it, like
That's
out
a
of those
citation.
10, 15 things that you need, that's a small part of the citation. And here's another thing I've heard. You can unplug that machine and throw it in a garbage pile and still get a fine for it.
Yeah.
Because a person can take it from the garbage pile and plug it in and still use it. So you literally, like OSHA, when it sees those grinders, they go nuts on people.
Yeah.
They get really, really bad fines. So if you have those old style grinders on there and it doesn't have literally every single security measure on it, you're gonna get a fine for it. So I have a service that looks at it for me. We use David Fisher, like we said. Comes and he checks our stuff out and he tells us what is and is not OSHA compliant, what we need to pay attention to, things along those lines. So he's kind of my go-to guy. But like I said, there's some other people, I don't really know specific names, but I know there's other people out there.
There's a shop in chapter 8 who had 3 grinders that were non-compliant. The fines were over $30,000 per grinder.
Yeah, the grinder's not a joke.
So
For some reason, they take
not
that
a
really
joke. Take
seriously.
it very, very, very seriously. The grinder that you go, oh, why are we able? And you're like, oh, just squint. I don't need eyeglasses. Safety squint. Safety squints. Yeah. We took ours and removed it from the shop and it's gone because of the amount of risk that it takes if it's not set up correctly. If you want to take the time to set it up in your shop, by all means, please do so. We can give an example like Wendy did a video of how to properly set up your grinder. But according to David Fisher, that is the #1 fine item in a automotive repair shop because of the amount of risk that it takes that somebody can injure themselves. And the fact that most shop owners don't take the time to make sure that all those are safe. Plug, hydraulics can help you with that.
Yes, and all tanks, all your tanks that are movable, you need to secure them on the walls. They have to be properly secured so they don't fall. You can't have any obstruction in front of fire extinguishers. There needs to be proper
Wall
signage right on top so people can see, it's visible of where those are located. Usually 1 per bay is sufficient, and then 1 in the office. That's the standard we've been using. It's worked for us so far. In addition, there has to be clearly marked exit signs on top of doors so that even if it's like, it's a no-brainer, that's the only way out. And if you've got a huge roll-up door or one of those big bay doors right next to the small little door that's, you still need that signage right on top of that door because it's required. These are like the little things that you need to do in order to be compliant. And they're looking at these things.
There are some, I've noticed too, like with the eye wash station. Back in the day, we were like, well, we don't have one. What should we do? And we purchased one of those little cheesy ones on Amazon where it's like mounted on the wall and there's a little bottle of saline solution. I was like, oh, we're good. They're not compliant, unfortunately.
They're not.
They have to have a constant stream for, I think, up to
15
like,
minutes.
yeah, it has to have a constant stream up to a certain amount of time,
Hands-free.
hands-free.
So all you do is, whoever's
yeah,
affected, all they would do is they would just put their face down, hands
And there's a
behind their
constant
backs,
flow of
and
the
they're,
solution out of their eyes.
that's what
So that's
needs
why
to
people
happen.
plumb them a lot.
So I know there's some available on Amazon to purchase, but they're quite expensive. We've quoted it at Cintas, and the items themselves aren't what's the issue. It's the servicing that they're charging that gets to be really expensive.
You can do it in-house. You can do the whole maintenance in-house. We put a last service, how long to service and when to service it I'll tell you right here, if you have any questions, ask this gentleman, John Iola, how many times he needed the eye wash station in our shop. No grinder. Not grinder.
Or else you would have used it.
Did anybody have questions regarding health and safety concerns, tips, and best practices? Any specific issues anyone was encountering or thinking that maybe they should discuss?
Steel toe boots, should they be mandatory?
My understanding is yes.
Repeat the question.
Only the steel toe boots, whether or not it should be mandatory. I go back based off of, and this is what, Gary wears those big ugly boots and he's really comfortable in them. They're like $200, $300, but he buys them every couple of years and wears them out. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything other than those. It's up to you, but
They should be slip resistant and OSHA approved, even if they're not steel
So, yeah, I mean, I get my guys, they don't have a problem, they just don't want to do steel. Yeah. I don't.
That's a good question. I don't think I know off the top of my head, but it's something I could ask David.
They don't.
Like it's mandatory. Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, write it down, that's a good email for David Fisher or something you can put on Team Talk.
Yeah, you can put on Team Talk and he can.
Shop, drop the battery, put DA battery, big ones. 4 years later, he was having surgery done. And that's one thing he told me was, I wish I was wearing.
Just you never know. I mean, you have them sign it, right? You get the signature there, so that's what they're supposed to do. But then if they end up suing or whatever, it still falls on the shop owner because you should have known, they should have checked.
And you're in California.
well,
That's what I'm saying.
if it's an employee, it's a workers' comp issue, so keep that in mind. You have workers' comp insurance, right, everybody?
Yeah.
So,
That's important.
that's important. That's audited every year. Make
Now,
sure.
see Bruce Hawley.
Bruce is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he specializes. He's one of our ASCCA associates, by the way, and they do a really good job with giving us real good rates and looking at, the little idiosyncrasies for this industry and what's necessary, what's not. Also talk to him about an umbrella policy, always.
He
Yes.
usually comes to the meetings. He would have been here tonight. He had to cancel at the last minute. It was a great resource.
Bruce Holly.
Holly Insurance, they're based out of OC.
If you grab this.
HAWLEY.
Grab the newsletter on the yellow page at the back. It'll have all of your associate members. And then if you're not using these folks, start tomorrow.
Cintas has a special rate for ASCCA members, and it's 50% off of everything that they have. So, and they're pretty good. They'll come out and they'll take a look and they'll go through your shop and then see what needs to be done. So what they offer is bathroom, first aid, safety, kitchen, if you want to do water sourcing, they'll help, they'll do that. But, it's not cheap. Keep in mind, there's certain things you want to do yourself because you want to be cost effective. But the rates that they're offering is really good. It's pretty good too. Yes, sir.
Ani, I just wanted to say, I think Cintas has a special that they've been running for AFCCA members. It's $38 a month. How many people replenish their Band-Aids and the fire kit and everything that you need in your first aid kit?
It's actually $38 a quarter.
There you
I
go.
mean, it's not an exact number. So we use the emergency kit, the first aid emergency kit, and they come and they replenish things. They take out things that are expired. There's little tablets for your tech has a headache. There's ibuprofen and Tylenol and things like that. There's Band-Aids, there's current solution. There's all kinds of different things. And he just comes once a quarter and he checks out my stuff and tells me what he needed to, replenish and what was expired. So we need to get rid of it. And it usually comes to between $30 and $40 a quarter, which is, in my opinion, that's pretty cheap for knowing somebody's doing it properly. And you don't have to worry about replenishing it and making sure it's got everything that you need. And also, it's supposed to be OSHA compliant. One thing that Dave always asks me is there a doctor's note with it? Because apparently your first aid kits are supposed to have doctor's notes with it, according to OSHA. Mine does not have a doctor's note, even though they told me it would. So that's something I have to follow up on. But technically, it's supposed to fit all the OSHA standards, the Cintas. first aid kit. And we mount it on our wall. It's right next to our eye wash station, so it's really easy for everybody to get to.
I think that's about it. Oh, wait, the new, the heat and, what is it?
Heat and illness prevention program.
Heat and illness prevention.
Yeah.
Yes, so some of you already know it. So there's lots of rules about that. Have you guys gone on the website and then downloaded all that? Okay, it's a lot of rules, a lot of procedure. You're supposed to make sure everyone's got water, and you're supposed to check on a daily basis, if not several times a day. We're in Southern California, we've got heat waves and we've got drought issues. You got to make sure everyone's got their set of however many fluid ounces of water on a daily basis. You have to provide. You have to provide as an employer to them, which could mean 2 cases of water or 1 case of water per person for 2 weeks. So it just depends. So think about it that way. You can do the 5-gallon jugs and get like 5 of them and rent out the machine, the cooling machine, or you can have 2 stations for that, or you can have 1. We do both, so it just depends. How about you guys?
Yeah, we do the same thing. We purchased 2 machines from Costco, and then I just have Sparkwoods replenish our 5 gallons, and we just put a fresh one on whenever it's needed. And it's always cool, and well, it's always refrigerated, so it's nice. We used to get Gatorades when it was really hot and put it in a cooler. And then Dave was like, oh, that's not going to count. Well, but it's Gatorade. Everybody loves Gatorade. He's like, no, it has to be water. So they don't care that you're trying to, take special care of your techs and give them electrolytes or anything like that. You have to have water for them. You have to have cool water for them to make sure that they're hydrated and properly taken care of in the heat.
Yeah, Gatorade's sugar, by the way. So
Yeah, but
sugar water.
techs like them.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
OSHA helps you shop. I don't know if you had OSHA business. I never had all these years of business. If it's a citation, they usually give you time to rectify the violation, then it's a different deal. That means somebody got hurt in the shop. And if someone got hurt, then you have a problem. If nobody's got hurt, then if you have a citation, they're going to give you time to deal with it. Did you ever talk about that?
Yes, he does. Mr. Fisher does. I haven't questioned him thoroughly on topic, but he does, and he does offer assistance in representation for those types of citations and those violations. And I do know that he seemed well informed enough. There's also Mr. Maladonov, who is the attorney that he works for ASCCA, and he offers 30 minutes or however many minutes of free legal advice on a monthly basis. And you can ask him a whole bunch of these questions too. But at the end of the day, your workers' comp and your proper insurance policies, they're the ones who are going to help in getting you represented, along with your own procedures and plans that you have. Look, I'm an attorney. I've been working for 22 years in that field. I just retired, and every year there's something new coming up. Every year there's a new law, and it's just a matter of representation, showing you're doing best practices and doing your best in order to meet what the law is. And if there's questions, it's a matter of trying to make sure they understand that you're complying. You just need help in compliance if there's a misunderstanding of what that means. And just like anything else, you want to comply. It's just, okay, help me comply. So I know the fire department has some courses. I know OSHA has some courses. I know the County of Los Angeles has some online courses, and you can look them up and then do how-tos with certain specific questions. Yes.
You can actually call OSHA. They can
I would not want to do that.
You can.
You would go to specific events to see whether OSHA representatives are going to be there to be speakers, and then talk to them there. And I would say anonymously.
Apparently there's a program.
There is.
There is programs, but I don't know whether I would like that.
Can I
Yes,
jump in here?
of course.
They want them to know your address.
Yeah, I had a unwanted OSHA inspection one time, and ex-employees are not supposed to be able to file a complaint, but the OSHA form will not restrict them from doing it. And so we had a disgruntled employee who no longer worked there, called and filed a complaint, and we had a surprise visit. The initial fine was $50,000. After weeks of negotiating, we got it lowered some, but I thought we were going to go out of business because that was the time that we really didn't have it. Many years went by, and we actually called OSHA and requested an inspection. And what that does is, if you think for some reason that somebody's going to make a complaint or whatever, and you get an inspection, you can call and request an inspection, and they will come and inspect your shop and not fine you. And they will give you time to repair things. And then they'll say, all right, we'll come back in 3 or 4 weeks or whatever, and you gotta have all these things done and sign off on them. If you don't get those repaired, then you'll get a fine. So you say, oh, you will not do that. But the advantage of that is you want to be in compliance. So give them the opportunity to tell you how to be in compliance. And then you can say, well, wait a minute. Next time this person comes in, well, you know, Mrs. So-and-so last year signed us off and we were good. Everything's exactly the same. Here's the pictures from last year that she said it was okay. Well, how did I know it was a she? They're all over the so, yeah, there's a fear of that, but if you do it with the knowledge of you're not going to get fined, then it's okay, but you got to be willing to do the repairs.
So there you go. This is the purpose for tonight, in order to have this type of discussion. Yes, sir, you have something to say?
Well, I was Mr. Ford, within him, they have like 60 stalls. The OSHA came and did what he was like. Then they called us to inspect the list, for the repairs. The owner was hesitating. OSHA came back, shut down 19 lifts, and it was 25 grand per lift being fined.
From the horse's mouth. So what John's talking about is compliance versus enforcement. There was a video about that when we were in COVID lockdown that one of the OSHA head instructors from that was talking about that. I think, John, that's what you're talking about, is being on the compliance side. You can welcome him to be compliant. They'll do a walkthrough of your shop and see what you need to work on. And that's always better than being on the enforcement side, which is coming with you're in violation side of it. But being ASCCA members, you can talk to David Fisher for free and he will guide you. As a matter of fact, he has 2 programs where one, he will guide you by the book, and 2, he will come do a walkthrough of your shop and give you a digital report of the things that he feels would be in violation. Also, the advantage of, if you happen to get a enforcement side of things, fine on that, they don't want to talk to you, the uneducated shop owner. We don't know. I don't know the rules. I'm going to end up saying I didn't know. But David Fisher will actually speak in your behalf, and believe it or not, from what he says, they would rather speak to a compliance coach than the shop owner who's able to reduce those fines and violations. So both of them are correct. It really depends on, do you have a plan? If you don't, get one.
So John, I've heard of that program before. You're the first shop I've ever heard of that's taken advantage of that I've heard of. So was it fairly painless?
The first time or the second time?
Well, when you asked them to come in and do the inspection before they came in on their own.
There were a few things that yeah. Let me elaborate on that. The lady that came in to do the inspection, I guess she had kind of a pet peeve, and that was objects that are rotating needed to have covers over them. So she walks by and she checks out a brake plate, and she goes, "Well, you got to have brake plate with a cover on it." And We went round and round for several weeks over this, and she was telling me that all of our brake blades were not legal. So we ended up buying a brake blade with a big, huge cover that pulls down over the whole thing, which I'll truthfully tell you, we haven't used in probably 10 years because we use the other ones. And it's there just to be there to take up space in the shop, to say that we have one. But where she was wrong was she was trying to enforce a rule that, let's say you have like a milling machine or a lathe in a machine shop where something rotated, they want a card in front of that. And you know that most of those have been included. But what we did was we asked her to go by every county facility that has a brake blade and show us what brake blades she wants us to have. And she could not find one anywhere around that has the brake blade shield that she's talking about.
So, dust containment system.
Yeah. No, it wasn't for dust. It was for rotating objects to grab your sleeves and pull it inside. Dust also too. But she wanted this for safety from that, and she couldn't find one at every county facility where they work on the county trucks and all that. And she went. I said, go to PCC, go to Citrus, you name it. You're not going to find all of this equipment that you're asking us to have. And they ended up dropping that requirement because she couldn't find it at their own facilities.
That is one thing I've also heard is a lot of OSHA, the people who come in and inspect, you're gonna have one person that says A, B, and C are a must. You're gonna have a person that comes in and says, I don't care about A, B, and C, I want D, E, and F to be correct. So unfortunately, it is not uniform across the board. And that's why it's another good thing to have a compliancy coach, because he knows what really, really across the board needs to be done. And if you say, well, this rep said that this needs to be done, and he'll go, well, let me talk to them. And he'll actually go and talk to them and go, no, well, what about this, this, and this? And they'll like,
that was the main reason why I wanted her to, OSHA to come through, is so that if I had them, well, certify what I've got, then later on, somebody else can't come in and say, well, this is wrong. I said, well, your inspector said it was okay.
Yeah. Kirk, did you have your hand up earlier?
You take care of it.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Our next item that we're going to discuss are the new hire orientation checklists. So when you hire a new employee, what are you supposed to do? What forms that you're going to need to have them fill out, and what to discuss. So the front page of the handout has lists. Now, as I said, this is with caveat. This is not exhaustive. It's representative of the various items that you should use and go over with a new employee. The first one is going to be the I-9 employment eligibility form complete. That needs to be completed and signed. Second is the federal W-4 form, and that usually should be done on a yearly basis. Notice of coverage options, if you've got whatever types of benefits that you provide. State tax form completed if it's applicable, because the state also has its own version of the W-4. State-specific forms and notices, and that's usually labor law compliant. California has a whole bunch, so you need to get those forms. Emergency contact form. If something happens, who do you contact for that employee? Who's the next of kin or whatever, even God forbid. Then you get into the compensation arena. You identify in here what the pay rate is so that there's no discussion afterwards. It's flat out stated. Is it an exempt or non-exempt employee? I don't know if most of you are going to have exempt, non-exempt, because they're all going to be regular W-2 employees. Then identify what the pay date is and the pay period, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Overtime procedures, you explain it to them. What we usually do is we have the time cards, and we show an example of how to fill it out, and we include that as part of it, the package, so that individuals know how to fill in and how it's calculated as far as their time period is concerned, and that they're responsible for certain things, and they have to initial on a daily basis. It's all theirs, handwriting, and then sign at the bottom at the end of the weeks to certify that everything's true and correct. Overtime procedures, state wage notice provided, that's a state form. Automatic payroll deposit, and if that's what they want to do, most people do. And you have that form with a council check that they give to you. Automatic payroll deposit authorization, and that's, like I said, the form itself. Then you get into benefits. So there's a lot of different types of benefits that employees are entitled to, depending on the state that you're living in. In California, if you've got over 5 employees, and you have to say, register into the Cal Savers retirement program, unless you have your own and you're exempt out of it. So what you would do is you would have a sheet of paper that kind of explains all that to them and what benefits that you do. If you offer insurance, if you have a Roth IRA or an IRA, if you dental, life insurance, whatever it is, all those types of programs that you have to provide information on that. Then you have the enrollment forms. Some things are within 90 days, some things start in a year from now. It depends on the program that you've got. And a designation of beneficiary for various insurance plans. Then you've got status policies and procedures. You've got a job description. I don't know if any of you actually provide job descriptions to your employees. We have a list for service technicians, and we have service advisor job description. And it's a changing process. That's like a moving target. It does change, things come up, and you need to add more information or just because with the advent of social media, I mean, things have changed. With the advent of technology, things have changed. So we need to make sure that the people that we're hiring are aware of those types of things and can use those types of technology. You also have to make them understand, unless it's different for you, but most people are on an at-will employment. That means that they're not your indentured servants. They can leave at any time with giving you appropriate notice, usually 2 weeks. So that's, unless he's your son, right? But otherwise they can, they can go get another job and so forth. And if you have an employee handbook, you also need to hand them a copy of that and acknowledgement of that, and then company rules and regulations. Every company is different. You run your company a certain way. You've got 10 specific rules or 5 specific rules. You've got a mission statement. What's your core values? You make sure they get that and they understand what that means. My husband likes, Gary likes to make sure everybody is respectful with one another, calls each other by appropriate names, and the focus is make sure that the car you work on, you treat it as it's your relative's car, because we're all a family. It's a family-oriented business. It's a family atmosphere. And with that comes certain responsibilities. What would you do if this was your mom's car? What would you do if this was your sister's car? How would you treat it? You would do your recommendations based on severity and leave it up to the client to decide what to do. I'm very picky about certain things. I like everything to be documented. So my focus has been, as much as I can, and I know he's been trying to do that as more and more, is please make sure everything is documented. I'd rather have 10 pages of paper rather than 1, so that there's no dispute afterwards of what was said between whom and at what time. So that's my mantra. And then you also need to have an other items area. So if you've got anything else that you want them to sign at the beginning, at the get-go, that's where you have to include it. And don't forget the sexual harassment, discrimination policies and training. You have to hire you have to do within 90 days or prior or 60 days.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
I think it's 90, I'm not sure, but you're supposed to do that. And it's mandatory in California. So you have to do that. And if it's a service advisor management position, it's different than if it's a technician W-2 employee. So you have to provide that training. And that training is not that difficult. You can get it off the website. You can also use, ADP has their own training that they offer, and it's a module. Yes, sir.
To your point, Armstrong and Associates, who is an associate member of the state, will provide that for free.
They have free training for that.
So if you grab the newsletter, or if you get it online, find Armstrong and Associates, find Greg, Glenn Daly, not to be confused with Glenn Davis, Glenn Daly, and Matt, I don't remember what Matt's last name is. Thank you. They are at every single team weekend, so if you go to the next team weekend, you can shake their hand, get their information. They will do it, like I said, for nothing. They will get you and your staff who are in management trained for free. You can't beat that.
And that's really important as shop owners. You have to provide that training. We just did our training last year. The whole month of December was dedicated for sexual harassment and various other COVID safety training. And then obviously whatever we can provide on a weekly or a monthly basis. The more meetings you have with your employees, the more you are open and talk to them. That's how you do the onboarding, because the onboarding, when you give them this level of information and they see the professionalism that you're exhibiting in dealing with them, they will in turn respect you and treat you with that same level of professionalism. And I've seen that with the various people that we have. We have one particular employee who I really pushed him into getting on board with our health insurance program. He was so hesitant. I have no idea why. But 3-4 years down the line, he came up to me and said, I really want to thank you for pushing me because I really needed it. I didn't have health insurance and I really needed it. And this was before the mandate. So think about that. I mean, these employees that you have and you're treating as your family, they really do need the help, and sometimes they don't know how to say it. So if you offer that to them and you provide that type of care to them, you'll have them, with you for a very long time. So it creates really good rapport. Anything that you'd like to add?
That was so thorough. I feel like I have nothing I could add.
The article from Ratchet and Wrench in our this month's newsletter talks about employee engagement, and it is awesome. It really works. It will take 5 minutes to read it. So take this with you instead of your phone to the what.
There's not enough for everyone to take that particular one that it is. I did email it to you. It's on our website. If you look for newsletter archive, pull it up.
Thank you. Digital copy is better, so you can just take this with you and find it online.
Does anybody have any questions or anything to add regarding the onboarding process?
How many people have an employee handbook? Good. How many people need an employee handbook? So the other people that raise their hands, talk to the other shop owners, because part of our motto in the ASCCA, especially in Chapter 5, is shop owners, shop owners helping shop owners. And I try to post that on every hashtag. So if you took a photo tonight, and you're going to post it on Facebook or Instagram, make sure you put hashtag shop owners helping shop owners, because shop owners will ask shop owners a question, just like the staff will ask the staff a question before they'll take the time to call David Fisher or Jack Moladano. But when we break the barriers, this is when we become an ASCCA family. So I want to encourage everybody in this room, if you have a question and somebody raised their hand, right, Joe? Call them up, ask them a question, visit their shop. So enlightening.
Okay, so the other thing is, does everyone who is a shop owner here understand the ASCCA portal and it's based, you know what that is? You go on the website and then that's the portal. You see the website for ASCCA. And you're supposed to register through that by creating a new email link. It's the same information. All they want you to do is just re-register. What you had in the past, they want you to boot it up, let's just say. So if you haven't done that,
Page 6 of the newsletter.
yeah, in the newsletter, there's information on it. And if you want, you can sign up here. Tim has a sheet. If you want help, he's happy to. Yeah. Yeah, he's happy to help you with that. Do you want to pass this around?
Yes, actually, there's 2 parts to this. If you can put your name and information, I will personally follow up with you to make sure that you know how to log in on the portal, because I really want you to attend the next team.
This is ASCCA's way of trying to get in the digital age. Before, you couldn't go online and pay your bill. You had to talk to Joseph, or you had to call somebody at the state level and send them a check or give them your credit card number, which, I mean, come on, it's 2022. We can pay things over our phone now. We don't need to do that. So you can go on the portal, you sign in, it tells you what your dues, if you have any dues that are outstanding or what's coming up, and you can pay it right there. So they're stepping into the digital age and they're trying to pull us along with them, which is a good thing. Some of us are there or advanced, some of us aren't there. So we're really asking you guys to please join the portal so that it makes your life easier and it makes their life easier to just get information to you and sign up for things and pay for things, and just makes life easier.
It's not a daunting task. I know Christopher is interested in owning his own shop. The whole purpose right now is not to scare you or anybody else in this process. But any professional organization, any industry that is going to use best practices and try to be the elite needs this type of level of networking and organization in order to go ahead and then do what it takes in order to move up. And it's just a matter of keeping up with the law, connecting with good people, meeting each other up, being respectful and being professional, making sure our resources are there, making sure our associate members who are supporting the industry, we have a good relationship with each other. And then moving forward, because I really do believe that with, no man's an island and we're all in it together and we all need each other. And then we go back to our little fiefdoms and then we operate our little, kingdoms, but we're still have to get together and then do this, because we're not Tesla, we're not Ford, we're not, those big conglomerates, multinational, international corporations. We're independent garage owners. And we're pretty good.
Any last questions? All right, raffle time.
I think we're gonna do the raffle. If anyone, should we do a last round? Did anybody not buy in? Gary?
Anybody want to buy more? Oh, yes, you do.
All right, we got 3 over here that haven't bought in yet. Do you want to go get them? Okay, just give us a minute.
Everybody can buy in, but don't write.
We have some. No, this one's.
No problem. No problem.
Hey guys, I know you're enjoying yourselves, but I want to put it in the calendar so we can plan ahead for Mike. Mind if I steal your programs, moment? Do you have something to say about programs? Mike Petrosian is our programs chair, so he's got some information to tell you about the next 2 months of where to be and what to put in your calendar. I'm sure you guys have all broke out your cell phones already and put September 17th in your calendar that you're going to be booked on that Saturday, right? If not, please do so now. Here's Mike.
Anybody else?
So for next month, we have Tim Huddleston. He's going to talk about numbers and running the business. We may switch that because we are also planning to do like marketing with undercar. So those two are coming for the next 2 months. And then like Tim said, the team weekend.
Before she retires.
Before she retires, yes. Goes back to.
And have you guys made any progress in the social you're planning?
Joanna, where are you? I'm coming back.
Got anything to say about the social? Is there something about the racetrack?
We have a plan coming up, and it includes Urbandale Racetrack at the end of August, and it will also include the scholarship recipients, but for all of the area, not just the Chapter 5, but if they're within the Chapter 5 geographic location, they're welcomed. And it would be a nice dinner or lunch, depending on the timing. And then we have access to the race. And the owners of the Irwindale Racetrack are allowing us to have special rights to go in and do some stuff. So it's going to be really, really nice.
We'll let you know information when we, finalize it, but right now it's still kind of a little bit of work in progress.
It's the weekend before Labor Day. So everyone should be here. It's that Saturday. My understanding, there's a race that Saturday. I'm not exactly sure what kind, but it's going to be at Irwindale. Yes, sir, you had it, your hand raised?
I'd like to find out if on that same day, if we could probably get invited. We have a demo truck where we have our tire changers, balancers, alignment equipment set up in a big truck. It is where we could probably put it somewhere in that area.
That's not up to us, but I'll leave it to Joseph.
And you're describing things that would be really good if you were a member of the chapter.
Well, that's why I got the forms today.
All right, that's why I handed it to you tonight. But yeah, something like that, taking it to Irwindale would not be our decision, it would be their decision. But Tim Huddleston, I don't know his exact position with Irwindale Raceway, but I know he's one of the decision makers. I don't know, does he actually own it? Okay, he's a chapter member. So, again, it's a real benefit of being a member of Chapter 5.
And we're looking to honor all of the scholarship owners. So basically four recipients were from one scholarship from Chapter 5. So we have 2 scholarships set up and they were $1,000 each. We split them in 2. So we made 4 total scholarships. So we had 4 recipients tonight, one of them unable to make it. But for Chapter 5, meaning people who attend Rio Hondo, Citrus College, PCC, ELAC, and Baldwin Park Adult Education. Basically, I think there were about 12 or 13 total scholarship winners. So that's why we wanted to do the Irwindale Speedway event. That way we could honor everybody, because we felt doing it here, it might be a little bit overwhelming, 12 different people with their families and the members and things along those lines. So that's our plan.
The students that we honored tonight, actually, they received 2 scholarships. One of them from the ASCCA or ASCEF state originated scholarships, and then the ones that Johanna just described are chapter ones. So of all the recipients, I think there were 23 recipients all in total. These 4 received 2 scholarships each. I think that totaled $1,000 for each student.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. All right.
And if you've ever been to Irwindale Speedway, Tim is a very generous individual. I don't mean me, but I think it's a Tim thing. But the last time we had a Malin meeting there where Malin was giving a presentation, there were 4 cancellations for a race event. And the first 4 people who raised their hand got to go. And let me tell you firsthand, when you're in a full fire suit in a race car that will do 200 miles an hour in circles, it is a very, very, very cool thing. So Those of you that believe that sports should have a motor and a transmission instead of a ball, you need to be at that event.
And there was another time we had an event there that everyone that was there had the opportunity to get in and not drive it, but ride with him 2 or 3 laps around the track. So,
And
yeah.
sometimes they'll also give raffles. If you come to more of these events, they'll give a ticket to do that.
All members, benefits of membership. Okay. I won't say this is what you've been waiting for, but this is just the icing on the cake. We're going to have some raffle prizes here. And I think we built our scholarship or our education fund up tonight by around $400. So thank you. All right. Here we have an In-N-Out Burger $10 certificate gift card from ASC Chapter 5. I'm going to draw the number. If it's your own, we're going to question that.
If it's my own, I swear to God, I will give. Okay.
Last 4 numbers, 9978. 9978.
Aha.
Good thing we got those last minute.
Look at that. He got here late, one of the last purchases, and yet he got a prize. Okay. All right. This is from Sean's Auto Care. It is a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card. Chick-fil-A.
Both on Sundays.
9942. 9942. Oh, all right. Thank you. Tim brought this because he loves John Maxwell. So here's a, who brought it? What? Oh.
Bobby got a really good book. Start on that one? Yeah. This one is amazing. It starts out like every shop owner when your day starts going, oh shit, it's gonna be one of those.
This is the one you were talking about last time.
Called Today Matters.
It does.
9888.
Yeah.
All right.
More reading to do.
Future shop owner. Yeah, future shop.
$10 Starbucks card from the chapter. $9948. 9948.
All right.
You're picking up Ollie's anointing. Ollie would always win. I think there's fewer times that he didn't win anything than he did.
Got a new baby.
That's everywhere.
All right, here's another Chick-fil-A, $10 from Sean's Auto Care.
Thank you.
9974.
All right.
Okay, now we're gonna do some choices here. Do any of you really like to be organized? Put your hand down. Because this is gonna be a choice here. The next few that we draw, this, Ani brought this. She lives for this kind of stuff. It's a way to be organized. She can tell you how to use it as well. So we'll give you a choice.
Can we just buy it?
Maybe.
Why what?
But now, see, this is going to be interesting now because you have a choice between like a Starbucks card or how to get organized.
I will take it as a personal affront if you don't choose anything.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what?
No pressure.
We'll do a T-shirt for that. This is from Undercard.
All right.
9897. 9897. T-shirt or organizer? All right. Do you want the T-shirt or do you want the organizer?
Oh, I don't dare defy her. I'm taking the organizer.
All right. All right, Undercard T-shirt. 9915. 9915.
All right.
$10 in and out from chapter 5.
Take that one.
9920.
Is that you?
Yeah.
James?
We have another in and out, not in and out, we have another undercar t-shirt.
And in and out t-shirts.
Yeah, and another- 9969.
Your size, your size. You don't have kid size.
What looks like the next stop? Our son?
All right, one more Starbucks $10 card. Yeah. $9940.
All right.
Oh, yay. And here we have also from Undercar Plus, 1/24th scale model top fuel dragster die cast metal replica. If I dropped it, it was metal, it wouldn't break. 9950.
9950.
Going once.
Okay, and now we have our shop drawing. The prize this month is $260. You have to be here in order to win. Number 30. Gilbert Motors. Darren's usually here. He couldn't come this time.
Goes up next month.
Yes, next month it goes up to $280. All right. That ends our festivities for the evening. The restaurant closes in 11 minutes, so you can hang around and talk for a little while.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. Give yourselves a hand.
Yes, it's, hey, Joseph. Joseph.
I'm sorry. Hey, I overlooked something. Could I have your attention once again for a minute, please? Peter, come here. Totally forgot when I had brought a certificate for him. Got a new member certificate here. From Silver Star Service. He introduced himself earlier, so you know who he is. Come on, Tim.
You gotta text me.
Oh, that was you? Okay. I don't. That was you.
So. Good. Yeah.